to the Power of One. Today I will be speaking with two community heroes who cared more about others than themselves. They were not afraid to protect someone, and they were not afraid of the outcome. There are many times crimes are taking place right before our eyes, and people will not say anything or they'll just walk away. I am not telling anyone to put themselves in harm's way under no circumstances. If you see a crime, please call 911, or if you would like to remain anonymous, you can call 215-686-8477. Please join me in welcoming two heroic men who made the choice not to stay silent, Jaleel and John. Welcome to the show. Jaleel Fraser, a community hero, was in a North Philadelphia barbershop one day just to go get his hair cut, and there were other people in the barbershop with him, along with some children. So two gunmen walk in and they decide to rob the barbershop. Jaleel, not even thinking about his life, he protected those two young children, and one of the gunmen shot Jaleel. Jaleel is now paralyzed from his waist down. His decision to protect others ensure that those two little children will grow up to live their dream. And I thank you for joining the call. And I think of you as one of the community heroes, and I commend you for the action that you did to save the people in the barbershop, mainly the little children. So, Jaleel, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about that day that changed your life. Tell me about you walking down the street, going in a barbershop to get your hair cut.
So that particular night, I just thought I was going to take a break from work and hurry up, go to the barbershop and get a cut. I did not know that what was going to happen. But like I told you before, I don't remember the scene. But now I could tell you what happened. It came back.
Really?
So, yeah, I didn't want it to come back, but it definitely came back. Like, I was asleep one night, and I woke up. I jumped up, and she like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm sweating. I was sweating like somebody threw water on me. She said, what happened? I said, I seen what happened. She said, impossible, because you told everybody you don't remember. I said, I know. I said, but it was like a movie. I seen two guys walk in. Then he was like, this is a robbery. He walked right past me. But on the side of me, it was the kids and their mom. And it was just us three. And I'm like, a robbery? I'm like, oh no, we can't take nothing. Like, that's how I'm thinking.
Right.
But then I'm like, I see the kid and the kid reacting and screaming. And then I see the gun. But he doesn't have the gun pointed though. So I'm thinking like, I'm not gonna let him get me if I can get him. So I thought that I don't believe in superheroes for real. But I thought that I can stop it from happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to like grab him and try to like slam him. But I'm gonna take that back. I didn't try. I did it.
Okay.
I did it. I'm not gonna say try because when you say try, meaning you didn't accomplish nothing.
Right.
I did slam him. Everything was going as planned until we started fighting. And then we fell out of the barbershop. Outside the barbershop was another guy. He didn't never come in though. He passed the guy the gun. I didn't think that I was gonna get shot. I thought that I was gonna be able to save the day and still get a haircut. But that's not how it ended. Once we fell out of the barbershop and he got up before me because he's skinnier, the guy gave him the gun and then he started shooting me. I didn't really realize I was shot until I guess I passed out. When the adrenaline rushing, you don't even know what's going on at the moment.
Right.
So I guess when I passed out, I must have knew I was shot. And for somebody to tell you like you don't know how that feels, kind of like it's like rude and disrespectful because I don't know what happened from that moment until how many weeks afterwards until I woke up. So it's like when you say like, "Hey, you a hero," I say, "I appreciate that," but it was a long. It's a long journey. It's a long road. I'm starting to remember things that I wish I didn't remember, but I do remember who I wanted to be. This is how I fight. This is how I'm getting through day by day, and I'm fighting the devil. Because before when we talked, I wasn't even ready to talk to you for real, for real. I was giving you little conversations, but lately I've been fighting. I've been fighting the devil. I've been fighting evil thoughts. Nobody don't know how it is to wake up and your mind, not nobody, your mind telling you, you're tired. You can't do this. What are you doing this for? But then you know who you is. So you're like, shut up. I ain't trying to listen to that. I'm gonna get in my wheelchair. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do today. But when you gotta go through that 7 days a week, it's hard, man.
Yeah, yeah. And
And,
you have
and
small children, correct?
I got babies, man. A 12-year-old and I got a 6-year-old. Well, going to be 6-year-old, and they
Okay.
don't understand. They don't understand. All they know is, oh, my daddy got shot. This is my baby son. This is what he
Right.
telling strangers now when we outside and he feel like someone looking at me. Or he feel like, he be like, Dad, why they staring? And then if it's a little kid, what happened to him? And here you go. My daddy got shot. And I'm just looking at him like, he's not scared to tell you.
Yeah, yeah,
My daddy got shot. And then I'm like, and before I'm like, chill, don't say that. Don't get
right.
into that. But now I'm like, go ahead. It's a lot
Yeah,
of people getting shot, but it's a lot of people that's becoming disabled now. And a lot of people not getting back because they draining into the mental part of it.
right.
It's not the reality. It's the part when you got them evil thoughts like you remember what you used to do, but you can't do it no more.
Right,
So it's
right.
like you can't do it, so you gotta learn how to do something different.
John, another community hero, was walking down the street one day and he heard the cries of a young lady. John, can you walk us through that time when you were walking down the street and what happened?
Yes, it was August the 12th of 2016. I walked up the street from my house to begin washing my car. Less than 100 feet from my home is a park. It's called Park here in Manioc. So I heard a woman screaming. I walked to the same location where I used to play as a child. I looked down on the ground and I saw this man beating up a woman and he had her in a headlock. And instead of taking physical action, I just said to him, hey, listen, what you're doing is wrong and you're going to get arrested for it and you should stop. So he stopped. He acknowledged me from the ground by nodding his head, and I actually saw the two of them get up and walk away. Well, I soon found out from the witnesses and my wife that that same person turned around behind me when I started back to my house, hit me in the back of the head. My head hit the bumper of a car, then the curb, and I wound up in a coma for 5 days, and I spent a month in the hospital.
Unbelievable. Now, the young lady that you rescued that you were coming to, did you ever meet her?
No, but it turns out I know her father, and she lives in the neighborhood. And the guy that was beating her up, unfortunately, is the father of her children.
Oh, wow. Wow. So because of your acts of kindness, you were actually physically injured. What injuries did you actually sustain besides being in the coma?
Well, I had a traumatic brain injury, which I have since mainly fully recovered, but there's still some things going on. Uh, in addition to being in the coma for 5 days, I was transported to the Drucker Brain Center, and I was in a hospital for a month.
Wow.
So there's still some things that I'm working out in my brain, and some aren't going to ever get better. So you just have to start dealing with the new normal.
Right. And I mean, I commend you for saying something. There are many times that there are crimes that are taking place where people don't even stop, they don't say anything, and they don't help victims. And it's so unfortunate what you went through. I don't wish that on anyone. So tell me, John, do you have any regrets from stepping in that day?
No, I have no regrets at all. However, our criminal justice system is it's kind of screwed up. And I think what our DA is trying to do, he's trying to correct wrongs from the past by dropping our guard today. And it's costing people their lives out on the streets of Philadelphia. So no regrets whatsoever. I would hope that if it was my mother or my sister or family member or anybody, that someone would have came to their aid.
Right. So when you speak about the the criminal justice system, so the gentleman was apprehended?
Yes. And, I feel better. I can talk about it now without getting angry, but I found out when you have a frontal lobe injury, it controls your emotions, your anger, your aggression. To know that this person almost took my life. The 5th District Police wrote it up as aggravated assault because I needed medical treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Soon after, I found out from Northwest detectives that the district attorney dropped it down to simple assault. And then it was a big song and a dance from then on. We're going back and forth to court. The prosecutor actually told me I should be lucky that he's going to get some time at all. So I go to court, and it turns out they charged him with simple assault, and he got sentenced to 30 weekends in prison. So I said some things in the courtroom, nothing, no profanity, but I did let the judge in the court know that, hey, my life counts too. This must be Trump's America, because I strongly feel as I would have put someone in a hospital or in a coma, I would have gotten sentenced to more than 30 weekends in prison.
Right, right. And I speak about people who speak up to law enforcement about someone who does a crime. And I speak about their safety and things of that nature. Did this gentleman live in the same neighborhood as you? Do you still see him?
Yes, because after I found out, this is my childhood neighborhood. My family's been on the same street in Manayunk for about 94 years. So when I found out who it was, I found out that he lives in his girlfriend's house, which is approximately 4.5 blocks from me. And I went to the district attorney's office and I said, listen, this isn't going to work out well because I'm going to see this person in my neighborhood.
Right.
And all my brain's going to tell me is, hey, that's the guy that tried to kill you. And then because friends and family tell me, John, you have too much to lose, I'm going to have the wherewithal to say to myself, John, well, he got sentenced to 30 weekends in prison, and you have to leave it at that. But we've encountered each other a couple of different times, and as fast as possible, he actually gets away from me. I'm not capable of running. My leg doesn't bend. Prior to this incident, I've had 14 different surgeries, but it's something that I'm going to have to learn to live with, because again, I know if I did something, the criminal justice system would work very fast and I would be put in jail. But it's just kind of hard knowing that the person that violated you went to prison for 30 weekends and his life is continuing on. And I still have memory problems,
Right.
Fortunately, I was able to finish my education.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. And I know it's traumatic seeing, every time that you see him, I know that's traumatic, bringing up that memory of what happened.
Yes, it is, but then there are some blessings that I have. I can't physically run. And for a number of years, I do a lot with the police department. Had the pleasure of meeting the new commissioner. My friends and family say, John, what's going to happen if you grab him? When would you let him go?
Mm-hmm.
And then you would be on trial. But had to see several neurosurgeons, neuropsychologists, neuropsychiatrists. It's tough to deal with when you're a victim of crime. And where I am in favor of criminal justice reform, because it mainly affects people that look like me, you can have criminal justice reform. But if you're a violent offender, I often ask people, if you're a violent offender, why would I ever want you to walk the streets again, to give you a second chance to rob somebody, rape somebody, or shoot someone? So that's where I'm stuck right now, dealing with issues such as street crime. Every night when the news comes on and I see someone being violated, it's problematic because it takes me back to what happened to myself.
Right. And I do understand it. And I know with you living in the 5th Police District, it's a little different than the other police districts within the Northwest section of Philadelphia. So the Northwest section is big, and we have the 5th, 14th, 35th, and 39th police districts. And the 5th Police District does not see crime such as the 14th, 35th, and 39th. Not discounting what you went through, but there are a whole lot of shootings and homicides and aggravated assaults, just like what you went through, and then
Yes.
the 14th, 35th, and 39th Police District. Now, tell me the support that you did receive from your family with the action that you made to help this young lady, and you indicated that you have some good friends within the Philadelphia Police District. So tell me the support that you received from your family and your police friends.
Well, it's kind of like what you said, local heroes. No, I don't see myself as a hero. Some of my police officer friends have shared that with me, but it has nothing to do with being a hero. You just heard another human being screaming for help. So you just walk to the scene to see what's going on. You have to put things in perspective. I can seek my own street justice, but then there could possibly or potentially be another victim that would be on your show.
Right.
So it's really, really difficult. You know what I mean? I don't want to see anyone get hurt. I've had friends and family members come to me and say, "Hey, John, you want us to go after him?" I said no, because then somebody else would be in trouble with the law and possibly ruin their life. And I guess I'm getting older because as much as I would like to go out and make him suffer for what he did to me, in the long run, it would only hurt me. So now I clearly understand, John, you have too much to lose, but to know that people's rights are being violated on the streets of Philadelphia, it's just pretty sad. And as a matter of fact, when you shared with me last week who else was going to be on the show, I was stuck because I often share with friends and family, despite what you have going on in your life, everybody else has things going on in their life also. When I got off the phone with you, I thought, wow, how blessed I am, because this young man is, he's also severely damaged for the rest of his life.
You spoke about something that is real. When people are victimized and when they're hurt, there are a lot of people that may say to themselves, do I retaliate? But like you said, and then that creates another victim. So that's a real conversation for people to have, and I'm glad that you have family members that are telling you you have too much to lose to stoop to the level of which this person stooped to in harming you, because he was wrong on all levels. Here he is assaulting a female, and then he's going to assault someone who's trying to come to her aid. So clearly he has some issues that he needs to work through to understand that it is not your position to put your hands on anyone. But it is real when people, they feel violated by the person who actually did this to them. And like you said, when you went through the criminal justice center, you felt like justice was not served. So, and I do look at you as a community hero. So I commend you on the action that you took that day. And I also commend you on your way of thinking now. I'm not going to create another victim, because it's easy to go down that road. So I do commend you on the decision that you're making now to take the high road, which is hard.
Yes, and it's I often say I wasn't touched by an angel. It's forced upon me because of the rules of our society. Because I'm a firm believer that if you harm someone out on the street, then I think you should suffer the same fate that individual suffered. But I am blessed. I'm still going to have a successful life. I'm moving forward, and I don't harbor in the anger as much as I did in the past.
That's good. Well, tell me something. Who came to your aid after he assaulted you?
There was a gentleman that was coming through the park, and he came down, and he actually told me, he was a witness in court. He didn't know whether to stay with me or go after that guy. And
Wow.
then after he made the scene, others caused the scene, and someone ran to my house. You know, that's something that the courts don't see. My wife is walking or running up the street, and all she sees is a crowd of people standing around me, and she thought I was dead. So she had to be comforted as well. And
Right.
but like I said, I am very, very fortunate, and I try not to stay in the past, but when I walk out of my house every day, the incident where I was assaulted is less than 50 feet, 100 feet from my home. So I see the location on a daily basis.
Right, right. Now, is your wife receiving therapy as well?
No, she's not. She did go with me a couple of times because they had to enlighten my wife that when you have a traumatic brain injury, he might be angry at times and you're not going to know why. He might start crying at times, you're not going to know why. And it's uncontrollable. But it has gotten better with time. And I've had her point some things out to me. I've forwarded literature to my wife for her to read. Extremely apologetic over the past 4 years. Not that I haven't been my whole marriage with my wife.
Right.
But, you know, she would ask me, what's wrong? What did I do? And I would explain to her that she did nothing at all.
And I think it's important for us to understand that even the victim who goes through this, their family members go through traumatic experience as well. For your wife to run up and see you laying on the ground, that can affect her eating. That can affect her sleeping. So it's important for our loved ones who actually see someone going through something or someone being victimized to get help as well. And that's what we do at Northwest Victim Services. Not only do we try to provide services to the victim, but also to the family members. And we also try to provide services to the community as a whole. So we're a part of Network of Neighbors, and they come out and they do crisis response groups for the community or for groups of families, so that way you can have that counseling session, which I think is extremely important to begin to heal if you can heal. Sometimes victims can't heal, and that's okay. No one should be able to tell you when and how to get over a traumatic incident, because that's you and what you went through. So you may have gone through something, and I may have gone through something, the same incident, and it may affect you totally different than what it affected me.
Yes,
so you
absolutely.
cannot discount how you feel and your feelings. What you feel is real, and it's true to you. So John, if you had a message for someone who was making the decision to help someone while a crime is going on, what would your message to them be? And my message is, you never put yourself in harm's way. You can always call 911, or you can call the anonymous tip line within the Philadelphia Police District. But what would your tip be?
I guess my honest answer would be, if you hear someone screaming and you know that they need help, you can maybe take your phone out, but you have to go to the aid of that individual and see the kind of help that they need. Because, again, I wouldn't want someone to turn their back on my friends or family or my wife, knowing that they were calling out for help. And I didn't know the situation that I was walking into. So I would have to say, if you hear somebody calling for help, I think you should go and see what's going on.
You have a support group, correct?
Yes.
Which I think is important. Tell me a little bit about that support group and those people who have experienced what you have and are able to uplift you and keep you going.
So the idea for the support group was find some people that's just like me. So when I say just like me, meaning that you're not going to lie to me. You're going to tell me how hard it is and everything. I needed that to understand like what this battle was going to be about. So I wanted to start a support group. So I needed to talk to someone that maybe can put it into action. I had Helen, which she wasn't letting off of me because she knew that I was struggling.
And that's Helen
So,
Euban, who
yes,
Helen Euban is awesome, and she's a writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Go ahead.
she's an awesome person. She's
She
definitely
is.
she's a chance taker. Like
Yeah.
when I say chance taker, whatever she think she's gonna try to do it. And she's so little, like so small. Someone with that push is like, that's a good person. The thing about it is when you get shot and you survive, you have a battle for the rest of your time. It's not because you think you're stupid. It's because like your life changes. Like you don't have to even have like a disability like me. You could just been in that accident. You're gonna go through things. You're gonna say, "Oh, I wish I never did it." But
Mm-hmm.
for me, even in my dark days, I don't say, "I wish I never did it." Why? Because I don't know what would have happened. What if everybody would have got shot? What if they didn't get nothing but $5?
Mm-hmm.
It would have been worth 3 bodies. So I just think like, if that's the person you is, speaking on the other guy that was just talking, when
Yeah.
you're that good person, you're gonna be that good person regardless.
Right.
Because that's what you and your God talked about. So
Right.
through any day you wake up and you say like, I'm stupid. Why did I do that? And they don't appreciate it, or you suffering and you think they don't appreciate it. God appreciate it.
Right. That is so true. And yeah, that is so true. Well, I want to tell you, Jaleel, and I want to tell you, John, that I appreciate your action and what you did. I truly appreciate it. And I know both of you do not think of yourselves as community heroes, but in my book, you are community heroes. And I thank you so much for joining us for this show.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you for joining me for this episode. Jaleel made the choice to protect two small children from two gunmen, and John made the choice to help a domestic violence victim. I applaud their fearless actions. Because of people like them in our communities, they make us safer. Because of their actions, no lives were lost. And because of the choices they made, people are now happier. Remember, your choice can change the world. You are important. You are unique. The power of one starts with you. Peace and blessings.